How was that? I was a DJ in a former life. So, how do I describe this? I put up here, you're all familiar with Juice GS, right? I've been subscribing for a couple years. I found it. I still have to go back and get a bunch of back issues to read through. I'll pull higher. How about if I just do this? Okay. So, our magazine is a niche magazine. Juice GS is an uber niche magazine. So imagine it being published 6 times a year, all about computers, arcade, home gaming from the 70s to 2000, 80 pages long and in full color. That's what my hobby is. I created 8 years ago when I was looking for something a little bit more fun. I had published a trade magazine for mobile DJs for 25 years in some form. That was my full-time job. I decided to get out of it. I went out in a glorious bump, I guess we would nicely call it. In March 2020, my last convention was scheduled to be spring break. You guys remember March 2020 around spring break? So I have this Las Vegas convention with 1,000 attendees all ready to go. About to get on a plane, Mr. Trump gets on there and says, we're shutting down the world. And that's how I went out of that. Previous to that, I had started my career as a teacher. I've only been teaching for 8 years, but I'm the cool teacher who plays video games, runs the esports club, and does all that kind of stuff. What I started was a magazine to enjoy what I'm doing. I lose money on it every year. It's a hobby that's written off as a business. I thoroughly enjoy putting it together. Publishing for 8 years, we put out 50 issues. We cover everything from Pong, Apple II, Atari 2600, up to the 2GS. Of course, I'm putting this in your phrasing. DOS machines and the PS2. We now consider the Wii to be a retro gaming device. Everybody had a Wii, right? Okay. To give an idea of what's on the covers of these magazines, our 50th anniversary issue is great. This one with the blue there, we covered everything. You can see pictures in the back there of a VIC-20 to a Commodore 64 to a TI and all kinds of stuff. This green issue was largely about educational games. The top one there was me remembering working at Babbage's, opening software, copy 2+ing it, and putting it back as an employee. So, what we enjoy doing is a passion of about 30 or so of us. And this is my very quick pitch to say, if you are interested in more information like what you get from Juice, like what you get from here, like what you used to get from Nintendo Power or EGM back in the day, we'd love to have you subscribe to our magazine. Okay? Very quick pitch. I do have magazines for everybody also. But I also had a couple friends I told I was coming to this event. And they asked me to get a quick plug in for them as the things that they're doing. And how many of you remember Adventureland, Adventure, and Zork? Those are the best games that we played back in the day, right? You had imagination. We didn't even need stick pictures and stuff like that. Well, a friend of mine has created the Text Adventure Studio. You can make your own games in that same way, export them down to disk files and play them. All via web interface, all totally for free. Let's see, how should I give out a couple of these? Let's see, what's the question? Oh, with the microphone, that would be good. I need an assistant. Can I borrow one of you guys as an assistant? Okay, I didn't write these questions up in advance. Tell me the name of the producer of the Adventureland and Pirates Adventure game series. Raise your hand, wave it, and yell it out. Back there, sir. Scott Adams, very good. Let's see. Trivia question about the early stuff. some of the parser. How many of you have seen a documentary about text adventures? Okay, right back there. I'm going to ask you there, sir. What's the name of the documentary that came out about 10 years ago about text adventures? Get Lamp? Yes, it is. Go ahead and give him one of those. And let's see. Let's do one more this way, just for fun. What was the name of Scott Adams' company? That's Adventure International. Let's give them a copy of it. Okay. So he's just wanting me to spread the word about this engine. You're welcome to play with it. I do have some more copies up. If you're a extreme adventurer, come up and just say something to me, and I'll give you one of these to take a look at. The second thing that I was asked to talk about is, do any of you remember the games, and I didn't when he told me about these, of Dino Eggs and Crisis Mountain? You remember the games? Okay. Mr. Assistant, there are flyers right there, if we could hand a couple of those out to different people. The other stack. Okay, I'm going to play a quick video from David Schroeder. Do you have audio, or did I do something wrong again? Hold on, let me look. Sure, why not? It says it's out there. It says HDMI to USB. Let's try it again. Present. Okay, I'll just paraphrase for David. How's that sound? He's basically looking for people that want to help troubleshoot these games. He's got it to a good alpha stage on redoing the games and would like to have other people do it. So if you have a bit of a sense of a programmer and can help deduce things out, sort of like what was being discussed yesterday about beta testing a game, we'd love to have some extra people help out with that kind of stuff. He eventually wants to release the games out there. There is an ad, if you forget about it, in Juice.GS and also in our magazine talking about this, and there'll be more coming out in our magazine about everything that he has going on. And the last friend, I think, oh, wait, no, I got both those friends in there. So, I didn't write a speech. I'm not much of a speech maker. I'm a DJ. I'm used to working on the fly, and I'm in front of a bunch of people that I consider already to be some friends and some peers out there, and I have nothing that I want to that's coming to my mind. So this next couple of things we're going to give away is ask me a question that you think everybody out there would like to know the answer to about our magazine, and we'll give you a copy of the magazine and also some more of these discs of the adventure. By the way, the adventure that he wrote, he's never been here, and I'm going to get him to come up here, is all about KansasFest. It's a KansasFest adventure game. All running via text. Back in the back, sir. What would you consider to be a criminally underrepresented retro computer or retro console? On the computer side, I'll tell you, I grew up Apple II, but Commodore 64s are freaking everywhere. Have you guys seen that Commodore 64 Ultimate that they put out? 30,000 of those of a new FPGA. My favorite console from back in the day, tell a story here. My dad always used to buy the better technology that didn't necessarily take off. So he bought a Betamax instead of VHS. He bought me an Intellivision instead of an Atari. I love my Intellivision, so I'm going to have to go with Intellivision as my choice there. The original Odyssey, I had one. You could move two items around and bump into a third item. You had to put a screen on it. Okay, another question or two. Mr. Assistant, could you give out a couple magazines over there? I've got a bunch of magazines that if you like a magazine, just raise your hand. You'll hand you a magazine. If you want one of those games, we can do those. Yes, sir. Oh, okay. The question was, how do we find the sources for our magazines and for material that we write about? A lot of it is just literally digging and finding them through Facebook or wherever. A lot of it for me is going to the Portland Retro Gaming Expo, which, by the way, is an amazing event to go to. About 10,000 people, and it's great with stuff. And they're just walking around there. The Midwest Gaming Expo that's up in Milwaukee every April. Have you ever heard of Joust and Robotron and all those Williams games? Eugene Jarvis, the guy who made all those games, he's just walking around the show, just talking to people. It's been absolutely crazy. I mean, I had Lord British subscribe to my magazine a couple years ago. I trade emails with the guy. A lot of people were just fun. A lot of them want to talk about it. The guys that are still in the industry heavily, they're tough to get through too. Yes, sir. In the back again. Not losing money, not having your wife upset at you. We lose $1,000 every issue, but it gets me to come along to these kinds of things. And also, I'm a school teacher during the year, so my summers are very packed. And we get 2 days off of school every year for personal reasons or whatever, and I have to shuffle and share those back and forth. So, yes, sir. Yeah, I mean, and there's people reinventing the Nintendo 64. A company called Mod Retro is putting out an M64. We're supposed to get one next week. The thing that I'm against is that you can go to Amazon and buy a Raspberry Pi loaded with 10,000 games. I got rid of my 16-1 video game system. I got rid of all those things. I believe in supporting the original media and the original people whenever you can. People say that's abandonware. Someone owns it. It's just whether they're not pursuing it or not. But yeah, there's all kinds of those systems out there. Anything from the all-in-ones that do everything for you to ones you can crawl inside of deep, like the Specky and everything.
But have they impacted your subscriber base? Buy these new versions of these old systems?
It gets them excited about things. Like, for instance, when the arcade 1-up started coming out, they have the arcade video games you could buy at Walmart. Got more people interested in the big machines. People were asking questions. Our goal with the magazine, that I guess I should have let off with, is that we want to document all the past from all these people that were in their prime doing their heavy duty stuff in the 70s and 80s are getting up there in age. We got to get their stories out there. So we want to document the past and celebrate it in its current way. Being able to log on to, have a little Apple II handheld that I got at the Vintage Computer Festival and be able to play Choplifter and Bruce Lee on it and all that kind of stuff. That kind of stuff's cool. It's celebrating it. It's finding new ways to play the games. First lesson I teach in my computer programming class is I show kids how to make Pong with a drag and drop thing called MIT Scratch. I want people to understand what happens with these games. Am I stalling enough? Is there a little bit more time to go, or are we almost done? Any other questions? Otherwise, see me at the vendor fair. If you have not picked up a copy of our magazine, please come by. If you want to subscribe, I'd be thrilled. Yes, my most popular guy in the back. Yes, they are. We have a $20 a year. I didn't even see how much this costs. $20 a year for a digital subscription, $100 forever for the digital subscription, $50 a year for a subscription. That rate is actually going to go up this fall because I can't pay the bills based on that. And you get access to all the back issues digitally. DRM free. You can download them. It has your name watermarked on it. But yes, thank you for coming in here. I had an absolute blast yesterday. The garage sale was everything I had heard it was. And just talk with people. This is a really neat community. I wish I had been going earlier, but it was on the same weekend as another event I went to all the time. So thank you for letting me be part of the fun, and I'll see you next year.